Hi, this is my new camera. It's my Sony F900R. This is the front of the camera without a lens on it. Um, so that's what the front of the camera looks like without the lens. There's a sensor in here. This locks the lens on. It's for B4 lenses. Um, there's a color wheel and an ND filter and your viewfinder connector, 20-pin viewfinder connector for there, right there. Down here, if you lift this little plastic thing, you've got some shutter. So if you turn it up, shutter off, and then if you turn it down, you can switch between the programmed shutter speeds. There's another mic connector at the front on this side. This is a plate that doesn't come with the camera, but it came with my camera. So it just helps you to connect it to another plate. So yeah, that's the front of the camera. There's a mic level here. Control. Here's the side of the camera. So that's what the side of the camera looks like. So you got the big handle, the large handle, and then you've got all your controls on the side. And we'll start on this side. So on this side you've got audio controls right here. So I'll turn the camera on and we'll put a lens on it. I'll show you how to put a lens on it. So it's going to be hard to do this with one hand, but I'll try to do it with one hand. So anyways, that's what the lens looks like. You can see the connector. There's the connector, B4 connector. Anyways, it works anyways. This is an old vintage lens. It's an old vintage Schneider lens. TV zoom lens. So we'll put it on. See if we can get it on. It's going to be tricky. Gotta do this all one-handed. So it just kind of cranks down. Hopefully that'll hold. So that's how you get the lens on. So that's what it looks like with the lens on. That's what it looks like with the lens on. So yeah, that's a Sony F900R with the lens on. And I got it kind of on it's on a big tripod plate too. So if you get one of these cameras, you really have to get a bigger, like a nice, because it weighs like I think around 20, maybe 20 pounds. So this Miller is a heavy-duty 75mm ball head, and it's a video head. So you can see I can crank this back and forward. I gotta lock up the. I gotta tighten the. If I tighten the adjustment, then I can actually rock it back and it'll stay in place. So yeah, see how it just stays like that? And then I can rock it forward. It's a little bit stiff. See, and it just stays like that. So you need definitely a big video. Like a decent, I got it on eBay, I got that Miller on eBay. But you definitely need like a good system to hold this camera because it's like a heavy camera. I still have like pretty basic tripod, it's not a really heavy duty tripod. And you need a plate too. This is a Sony plate, so you need this big base plate. Like this is a big Sony base plate. It's called a V mount plate, and it's got the rods too. It's got the extension rods, and so you need a big plate like that for this camera as well, if it doesn't come with it. So yeah, this camera, there's a couple of pluses. Well, the reason I bought this camera is because the 3CCD quality, I really like the color quality of 3CCD, so that's primarily why I bought this camera, because I prefer it over CMOS. And I'm actually shooting this video on another 3CCD camera, JVC. It just has a smaller sensor. So yeah, these are both 3CCD cameras, and they're getting kind of rare now. They're not very many of them out there anymore, and they don't shoot on high quality like 4K, but they still look really good. And so actually, that's why I bought this whole camera, is because I really love 3CCD. So this is a Sony F900R, and I'll go over some more parts of the camera. Let's get closer. Okay, so we got this drops down here, and then this is all audio controls in here. Those are all your audio controls and time code controls. And on that screen, it shows you time code and battery life, if you've got a battery connected to it, and stuff like that. And your volume, audio volume. So you can see it's on, and the volume, I've got a mic, so you can see the mic volume because it's picking up my voice. And then you got some switches on the top here, and you've got a memory stick here. So you can put a memory stick in there so you can remember stuff. The camera remembers settings with that memory stick, and so there's the other side of the camera, and you got too much glare happening, so I'll come out of this side, and so yeah, this is the other side. So we've got some gain switches here, and white balance, stuff like that on that side. These are your menu switches under here. There are menu switches down here, and then there's a menu wheel here for your menu. There's your power switch. So that's pretty much that side of the camera. This camera records on HD SDI, and so we'll flip the camera around. Oh yeah, on the top here is up here you've got controls for your up on the top you've got controls for your video cassette recorder. Up under here, so video cassette stuff. Those are your video controls under here. And then we switch the camera around. See it from the side. And we bring it around. And on the back you've got one HD SDI here, another HDSDI here, oops, sorry, one HDSDI here, another HDSDI here, audio in 1, audio in 2, audio out, power, and then you've got on top of the audio, you've got you can choose 48 volt, turn the 48 volt on, and you've also got mic line switches, and then on the back you can take a battery, and you can have an external accessory connector here for Sony, so you can plug in a connector that will add another SDI port and add audio ports with this connector. And then on the other side, oh, there's a remote connector back there too for remote control. So here's this side, there's not much on this side. You got another at the bottom here. You got some more connectors. You've got another HDSDI, and then some time code in and out. And then that's what the other side looks like. It's pretty, there's not much there on this side. Here's your cassette, right here. That's your cassette, and you probably just want to use it SDI. And then there's another audio connector at the front, another mic connector down here. There's two earphone connectors as well. And then there's a lens connector, so you can, if you connect to the lens connector, you can control zoom and stuff like that on the lens with that connector right here. And there's a VTR start button, so I guess that's to record to the tape. I've never actually pressed that button before, but I don't have a tape in, so it probably won't do anything. Nothing. I don't think it'll do anything. So yeah, you can see the big handle on the top. So yeah, and I have it connected to I'll show you the HDSDI. So I have it connected to a recorder, so I'll show you that. So there's my Cinedeck. I have it connected to the Cinedeck, and I'll turn that on. So the Cinedeck records audio, and it's actually around 10 years old too, so the Cinedeck's pretty old too. And that's what I'm using to record. Instead of recording on tape, I'm recording out of the back of the camera from the HDSDI. And I can record 1080p from one cable. And it's, the Cinedeck is like a little computer. It's pretty clunky. It came out in about 10 years ago, I think. So yeah, it's the Cinedeck, and that's what I bought to record the camera with. So it's just booting up. It takes a couple minutes to boot up, and it records the camera on SD drives, or not SD drives, flash drives, like hard drives. SSD drives, that's what I'm thinking of, SSD drives. So it records to SSD drives. And it records audio as well from an HDSDI cable connected to the camera. So you can see there's the Cinedeck, and you can see it's recording the picture. The quality of the monitor isn't that good. Um, the quality comes out much better than the quality that's on the monitor when you record it. So it's got menus, so you can see the menus there, and you can set everything up. And it has auto detect signal, which is nice. See, the green light is the auto detect to the signal, so when you have it in the right settings, it'll detect the audio, the settings. So that's my Cinedeck. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Um, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's pretty much the whole camera in a nutshell so far. Um, when I actually get, I'm gonna get some more stuff for the camera. So when I actually get a few more things, like when I get the viewfinder, I can actually only do um, I can actually probably use only a few of the features of this camera right now. Um, by the way, if you're thinking of buying this camera, um, they have internal cards, and one is a continuous cache recording card, and another card is slow motion card, and down converter card. And so before you buy the camera, ask the guy or whoever's selling it if what cards are installed on the camera, and they will tell you what cards are installed on the camera. Like this camera has the slow motion card installed because when you can't buy the cards really. I don't think you can even buy the cards anymore, and they're not even. I think you even need like a factory Sony to install the cards. You can't install the cards just by plugging them in. There's no place to plug them in. You have to actually take the open up the camera and install the card inside the camera. It's not an easy, it's not an easy thing to do. And then you'd probably have to update firmware and all this. So it's absolutely not the easiest thing to add or remove some of these cards. So if you buy a camera, check with the person you're buying the camera with, and find out what cards are installed in this camera. Like if it's got the slow motion card, or if it's got the cache recording card, or the down converter cards. Find that out. So you're gonna have to blow a bit of money to get this camera working properly. Like you probably won't want to record on tape because it's just much more convenient to record on HDSDI from the HDSDI. So you need some sort of a recorder like my Cinedeck. But there's all different recorders out there, so you're gonna have to blow some money to get this camera up and running. Like I said, you have to get like a beefy tripod system because it's a pretty heavy camera, and you also have to so that would cost you maybe a couple $100, and then you'd have to get like a recorder, which is another couple $100, and I haven't even gotten a battery system for this camera, so I'm running it on like a plug-in power. But if I want to take this camera and use it outside, I have to buy a battery system, and that would be a couple $100 easy. And so yeah, everything sucks power as well, so you have to figure out how to do it, like to get it running, because to get the power, you'd have to run power, like battery power for your monitor, like your monitor recorder. So not only do you need power for the camera, you need power for the monitor recorder. So you're looking at a pretty hefty battery system for the whole thing, the whole setup, to take it outside. So this isn't a simple camera that you can just go with and shoot right away. And so yeah, you'd have to figure that out. And of course you've got to buy lenses too. And the great thing about it is there's lots of Fujinon lenses. I ordered a Fujinon lens on eBay, so that's on its way. And there you can get those as cheap as $50 for Fujinon B4 lenses. So do your research so you make sure. There's B4, Canon, Fujinon, and Schneider. the lens on there is a Schneider, but the majority lenses you'll find for this camera will be like Fujinon, and there's Canon sells some as well. And so yeah, lens, big tripod, big ball head, like a heavy duty like video camera, video camera, not ball head, but video head, recording system, and I really love the quality of 3CCD. I'm actually recording this on my other 3CCD camera, my JVC, and it has a different sensor. And then of course you have to buy as well. You would have to buy a viewfinder. Like if I actually want to use more of the features of this camera, I need the viewfinder because that's the way you access the menus with the viewfinder. It's got a 70-page manual, service manual as well. You can download and print. I printed it off. It's a 70-page service manual. So that tells you a lot of stuff that's not in that you will find that's not in your, the operations, the owner's manual. Like it sort of tells you the pinout of your viewfinder connection. So because the viewfinders for this camera, like I said, are expensive. It's like $200 or $300 just for the black and white viewfinder, and that way that's like the cheapest way of accessing the menus pretty much. So I'll make more videos as soon as I am able to access the deeper functions of this camera. By accessing the menus, I'll make another video. So because I'm really using only I'm not using the whole power of this camera right now. I can still use it, but I'm limited on a lot of stuff I can do with this camera. Like right now, because of the battery system, because I don't have a good battery system that I can just take it anywhere, and also because I don't have the access to the menus and stuff. But anyways, I thought that was a little bit of an overview of this camera. I'm sure there's stuff that I'm missing that I was going to say, but these cameras are pretty rare, but the color looks pretty nice, and that's why I bought this over one of the brand new 4K CMOS cameras. Because I really I prefer the color, the way the color looks through this 3CCD sensor. And I can't remember what year it was, but a couple years ago they decided that they stopped making 3CCD cameras, and the technology switched over to CMOS. And so pretty much there's no 3CCD cameras being made at all anymore. The only ones you can buy them for would be for, I think actually broadcast TV still uses 3CCD sometimes, and also astral photography uses 3CCD cameras as well. So anyways, there's not a lot of video up on YouTube about this camera, so I thought I would make a video showing the features. So I hope you like that, and check out my other videos. Thanks for watching.